Thank you, Zane, and I hope you stay rooted as Xander has stayed rooted and others have stayed rooted in Christ. Congratulations, class of 2024. We're so proud of you. Thank you to our faculty and staff for your hard work and dedication. Thank you to our Board of Trustees for your service in long-standing leadership. Class of 2024, there's been some great memories the last 4 years. Dancing under the Eiffel Tower, I can never forget that. Color wars at retreat. One freshman girl threw her yellow color in the back of my throat and took me down. I couldn't breathe for 5 minutes. I thought our team was going to conquer that war, and I was out in 10 seconds. Senior girls danced at Eyesight last week, and then all the small and ordinary things in the hallways and the classrooms. Each moment remembered and each moment forgotten has been a small piece of a bigger eternal picture. Class of 2024, you've put time to good use. While you sit here in your cap and gown, marking this moment, it's appropriate to look backward to the people and experiences that formed you. Although we don't live in the past, it doesn't fully define us. It is part of who we are and it stays with us. While we celebrate today and remember your past, this ceremony is also about launching you headlong into the future. Adolescence is ending. You are now men and women, equipped and prepared to take the next step. You've been equipped with wisdom, the ability to make sound decisions, vision, the art of imagination, courage, the strength to choose to do what is hard and difficult, faith, trust in our eternal God, purpose, knowing who you are and knowing whose you are. And you've been equipped with joy, the profound sense of gladness despite the circumstances. You have been prepared to add your voice to what we call the great conversation. You are ready for this moment, ready to leave adolescence behind and begin a meaningful and exciting time as adults. It won't be easy, but it can be very good. Despite those, some may doubt you as adults. You may even have self-doubt, but I want to let you know you can do it. You will do it. As men and women, how will you contribute? How will you become a blessing? As Mr. Comer stated at the senior dinner on Tuesday night, what will your end be? Not your end as in the end of a journey, but your end as in your purpose. To what end, graduates, will you live? I know some of you are nervous about accepting this new role of adult. We will never ask you to leave your childlike qualities of wonder, playfulness, and trust behind. The world will try to dim those parts of you. You will need to bring those with you as an adult. I encourage you to boldly and courageously accept your new role. Step into your role with confidence. Live it, act like it, and embrace it. There is no time to waste. You will find great joy, significance, and even fun as you take this next step. Just ask Miss Barforth, Coach Shaw, or Miss Miller if the fun ever stops. High school is not the climax of your life, but just the beginning. As an adult, there's so much more life ahead. Often, graduates excited to enter the category of adult will ask me, Mr. Knight, when can I call you Jim? And I respond, well, you just did. I tell them, you can call me Jim when you embrace your role as an adult, when you take hold of it. Call me Jim when you're an adult. Fun fact, Mr. Benedetto, for the last 15 years, calls me Mr. Knight. I'm waiting for the day when I hear the words Jim out of his mouth. I'm told it will never happen. Perhaps he is focused on respect. I see his point. What does it mean to move out of adolescence to become a man or a woman? To move from children to adults? You have walked by the answer every day at Pacific as you travel the hall in our third story. Imprinted on the wall, on purpose, right above the lockers, it says, Jesus' great command. It's written for you to see. It says, love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and love your neighbor as yourself. This is our recipe for abundant life. Love God. This is the first order of business. Don't miss this. Getting this order wrong will pay consequences. If you get it right, it leads to human flourishing. Then after loving God, you serve others while taking great joy in who he has made you to be. You are more than ready to take on this role of adult, to love God and love your neighbor as yourself. And today we mark this passage into adulthood from adolescence. Soon, graduates, you'll be on your own, cleaning the own stains off your shirt. I don't know how you're going to do that. You'll figure it out, though. You'll set up your own Wi-Fi and electricity for your apartment. You'll wonder why your landlord asked for a check for monthly rent. You may even call home asking your parents, "Hey, Dad, what's a check?" It actually happened. You'll be paying taxes, cooking, and voting. You're ready for this, class of 2024. You're ready to be adults. But you don't do it alone. You will need to be intentional about building community. You know that as you have been a blessing, you will also be blessed by the Pacifica community and by others. Community doesn't just accidentally happen, it happens by choice. You will need to choose to invest in others. Your parents, grandparents, uncles, aunts, brothers, sisters, they are a gift. They're invaluable to who you are, and you are invaluable to them. We're not meant to live this life alone, but in community, sharing dreams, heartaches, light moments, heavy moments, laughing and crying together. We are built for relationships. These are beautiful, messy, hard, life-giving, draining relationships. They take sacrifice, grace, courage, and forgiveness. It is here in the refining fire of relationships that we are formed. We become more like God, and we find more meaning and joy. David Brooks, author and New York Times columnist, commented in his book, The Second Mountain, on thin and thick communities. According to Brooks, in thin communities, we live loosely connected, siloed, individual lives that ask little of us. It's life on the surface, a life of self. It is a life alone on the edges, and too often is the way many choose to travel. In thick communities, we are bonded, committed, and all in for one another, acknowledging that we're not the center of the universe. We acknowledge that our meaning and significance are tied to others who are before us, who are with us, and will come after us. In thick communities, there's more than just our own personal lives, more than our authentic feelings, original ideas, thoughts, and dreams, and more than personal satisfaction. In thick communities, there's self-care, however, self-care organized within wise care for all in our community. Here we have responsibility for others. We are connected. In thick communities, we love deeply, we forgive radically, and we are formed and supported. We thrive in thick communities. We're meant to carry each other's burdens. We're one body who shares equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, we all suffer. If one part is honored, we all rejoice. We are called to encourage each other and build one another up. We are called to be patient, gentle, and bear with one another in love. We are called to consistently show up for each other. In the human body, the femur, I just learned this, the femur is the strongest bone. It's also the longest bone. Class of 2024, like the femur bone, you've been the strength and the consistent force of our community, and I thank you. My favorite novel is Victor Hugo's Les Miserables. In fact, the license plate on my car is Jean Valjean's prison number, 24601. I brought it so you can see it. It was a gift from a friend. In the Les Mis epilogue, we hear these words: to see the face of another is to see the face of God. To see the face of another is to see the face of God. When we look at another person, a friend, ourselves, colleagues, we are seeing the face of God. When we see others, we're not just looking at a physical creature made up of DNA and cells. When we look at others, we're seeing a soul, an image bearer of the living God, another created in God's image. The people around you are of great worth and value. This truth informs how we treat others and how we spend our time. Graduates, much of society lives isolated, fractured lives of loneliness. Community takes intention, so be intentional. One example about community I share with you, and I've shared this before many times, so it's repetitive, but it's from the heart, and I think it drives the point home about community. When my oldest daughter, Lindsay, graduated from Pacifica, we had a meeting before she left for college, one of those important ground rule meetings. What's our relationship going to be like when you're in college? We talked about finances, communication, classes, and a host of other things. I asked her thoughts on the frequency of our texting relationship when she was in college. She pondered the question and she said, Dad, we can text once per month. Where is she? There she is. Internally, I was gutted, but I didn't let her know it on the outside. I confidently responded, well, that's what I was thinking. That sounds great. Well, internally, I was having a meltdown once a month. I felt like I was going to die. When move-in day arrived, we all did the usual stuff, decorating the room, a trip to Target for supplies, back to the dorm, another trip to Target, just in case we forgot something, then back to the dorm, then lunch, and a third trip to Target because we had no idea what to do with ourselves. After a day of moving in, we said our tearful goodbyes. We got in the car to take the 20-minute ride back home. In less than a minute, the phone rang. It was Lindsay in tears. Dad? No, I was in tears. Yes, Lindsay, do we need to go back to Target? No, Dad, no. Dad, you can text me as much as you want. Now the tears were rolling, and I said, Lindsay, you can't get rid of me. I'm here for you. We're here for each other. God has connected us for a reason. Graduates, community is important. Your family, your grandparents, your brothers, your sisters, your friends are important. Stick to them. Stick with them. They are a gift. Even the hard people in your life are created in God's image. They carry his image. Open the gift of community. Unwrap it and put it to use. Don't let the gift go unwrapped and unopened. That would be a shame. A friend of mine, Father Andrew Cuneo, gave the Pacifica Orange County commencement address last year. He shared a profound point, and I will relate it to you now. In the heavenly dictionary, in the dictionary in heaven, if you look up the word alone, it won't be there. The word alone is not in the heavenly dictionary because it's not a reality. In heaven, we are never alone. In this life, we can experience loneliness, but we're not truly alone. God is with us and promises never to leave us. We have been loved, are being loved, and will be loved. God is omnipresent. No matter what happens with others, our God is present. We have built a relationship with him. He has gifted himself and his creation to us. We can choose to receive it. Rather than traveling dependent or independent lives, we can choose to craft interdependent lives of abundance. We can be fully unique in our own person while being deeply connected to others, interdependent. A cord of 3 strands is not easily broken. We are stronger when we stand together and more beautiful in community. Graduates, God is with us. Spend time with him. Get to know him. In a few moments, you'll become alumni. You'll join a special group of good young men and women who are thinking and living well. Before you leave today, you will toss your caps in celebration and march out into the courtyard. There you will take photos, hug, more photos, more hugs, more photos, more hugs. This will be the last time you'll be out together again. As the sun begins to set behind the hills, the light will fade. I will take my spot on the edges of the action, attempting to soak in all the goodness. My 35th graduation, so much goodness. From the edges, I will proudly watch as you celebrate, reflect, say goodbye, and wrap up your Pacifica journey. I will take great joy in what has been done in your lives. I will take great joy in this final Pacifica moment. One by one, you will walk away and leave Pacifica, our high school campfire. As you leave, I will take great pride in having been part of this community at this time, knowing that I have received as much as I have given. As the last few families leave to head out to celebratory dinners, I will leave the courtyard with a heart of gratitude, thanking God for each of you and knowing the class of 2024 was special. Graduates, men and women of Pacifica, we send you out today, looking up to God, expecting you to build lives of significance. We will miss you. We celebrate you. and we love you. Thank you.